Hello folks, I want to talk about Joshua, the leader. I want to talk about the crowns, the head, the forehead, and I want to talk about us. The four living creatures. Okay, first of all, I'm going to write my name here, okay? Okay. Moment. I think that's a little too bright. I was trying to make it so it's not so bright, but it doesn't matter. Okay. I want to talk about the living creatures. I've been saying it since Alexander was picked up by DHR that we are the lion, we are the ox, we are the eagle, we are the lion, we are the ox, we are the eagle, we are the face, the human face, we are Zion. Okay. Zion and Jerusalem are one and the same. Jerusalem is a blueprint for our cities, but also for us as individuals, because cities make a nation. And when you have a blueprint for one city and you have a blueprint for several cities, you have a blueprint for a nation. A nation means person also, because from one person comes a nation. So all of these things, tree is a single tree, but also trees on both sides. Son is child, but it's also daughter, child. So son, daughter, human, okay? Son of man means human child. Son of God means son of God or daughter of God. Okay. So, there will be harmony between the two. The letter Y means J, means I. We know that. Okay? So if the letter Y means J and means I, and there will be harmony between the two, Judah and Joseph or Ephraim. Remember, the end is a new beginning, so Joseph, Ephraim, okay? So JJ. But also, there's going to be harmony between the two, meaning Joshua and Jerusalem. Because when in the book of Zechariah, when Joshua is before the angel of the Lord, which is the Lord himself, the Lord said, "The Lord rebuke you, Satan." And the Satan was standing to the right when Joshua was before the Lord. So if Satan is not chosen and Jerusalem is chosen, so it's Joshua and Jerusalem. Okay? So, that's what I want to say. I had, 2 years ago, I had this vision of this river opening up, becoming two, and then going back and becoming one. And it was revealed to me that this was and I had to look up the term to kind of be able to explain it. because I'm not the world's most intelligent person. I've never claimed to be. I am just a small part of the whole body. Okay? So the living creatures are encircling the Lamb. Okay? So if they're encircling the Lamb and the Lamb is in the center, our center in the west is the heart. In our midst means our heart. Ark means chest, means heart. Ark means chest or box, box, chest, heart. Okay. It was revealed to me that Jerusalem okay. Let me make it pretty handwriting. Okay, this was revealed to me. When we type in Ger, G-E-R, on our Bible, when we're searching for Ger, you're going to see Jeremiah. That is a short abbreviation for Jeremiah. And Lem means, believes it means child of God or faithful. Let's see. Because this was revealed to me just recently. And things are revealed to me on a daily basis, just about daily basis, not every day, but most days. It means devoted to God, devoted to God, and it's a Hebrew origin, name for a boy, okay, or a man, because boys grow up to be men. So remember, son equals daughter equals child. Okay, when the father or anyone in the Bible uses the term son of man, that means human being, son of a human. And Jesus was the son of a human, but he was also the son of God, and we are. So remember that the one in us is greater than us ourselves and by ourselves. Because we're small parts of the whole body of humanity, the whole Son of Man walking the earth, cleaning it up. Okay? That big being is in us, and we are part of the whole. So the one in us is greater. We have to join forces. Now, I was very upset today at DHR because I know I should be setting an example, right, as a faithful woman. And I should be showing up at DHR and just being okay with my son being all bruised up. And I'm not. My son was literally bruised up. Okay? I am a responsible person for the most part. I'm not perfect. I'm not. There's a lot of things that I do that are wrong in God's eyes. I am a human woman. I drink too much coffee. I don't work out. I don't always eat healthy. And I'm not a virgin. Okay? So, I've never claimed to be perfect. I've never gone out there and said that I'm perfect. If I ever said that, then somebody needs to prove it to me that I said that. Because I know, to my recollection, I've never said that. But I know that the one in me is greater than I, and the one in me is the one that we have in common. That's what we have in common, folks. So, that's what brings us together. It's like, oh, you too. Yes, that's what we have in common. Okay? Even if we're completely different one from another, even if we have different standards of living, when we come to the body, okay, as one body, okay, of humanity, okay, like come together, okay, then our standard of living will be more similar to one another, because we'll all understand that some things are just right and some things are just wrong. God is a God of cleanliness and organization. He likes order, not disorder, but not world order, just order. I was very upset today, DHR, because it's not a dignified visit when you go see your son. He needs a haircut. He's all neglected, like neglected in that I'm sure that the foster family is very good to my son. I'm sure, because my son would probably hint at me something was wrong. But when he's got all these things, all these boo-boos from these different environments that he's been in, you know, I've been very patient. And it's not dignified, our visitations, because they're short. I have to drive almost 3 hours over there, 2.5 hours, just to see my son for an hour. That's only one-way drive, okay? And he's not eating my food. He's not benefiting from what I can do. I mean, people think that I'm just lazy, just sitting around ranting on Facebook. Believe in me, what I do takes work, okay? When I have like messages coming at me, I have to be able to make sure that it is not just some random stuff, okay? And I have to look it up for myself in the Bible. And I have to look it up from the literature that's given to me through, you know, these means. And believe in me, I believe Facebook is a blessing. Believe in me that I believe Facebook is a blessing because of our walls. To my understanding, from my perspective, that I'm aware of, I've never been censored. And the way I see it is, if they're censoring you, if you're sure that they're censoring you, then you need to find another way of putting it out there. Because, for example, today I was trying to post something, and it was not controversial. It was not, I don't ever put things that are like nudity or, you know, anything like that. It wasn't anything that was like political even. It was religious, but it wasn't like, you know, like politics within religion type of information. It was clarifying the meaning of the word Aman and Amen, which is the same meaning. And it was coming from a very reputable source. And the internet, or Facebook in particular, you know, they have to answer to politicians. And they have to go by these laws. So if y'all were in Facebook team's shoes, you would probably be complaining all the time. but they don't. They just do what they can. They cannot please everyone at the same time. So be grateful for what you have, because that is a wonderful platform, and it's a very good opportunity for you to do whatever it is that you can do. And I hope that you take this gift and this blessing as an opportunity to praise God and to inform one another, from legitimate sources, because sometimes we joke around, and joking around is funny, laughing is therapeutic, but when you start putting things that are just like really cold and raw, and distasteful and not helpful, then that just becomes insulting, right? But Facebook doesn't censor that kind of stuff either. They pretty much let you, with your freedom of speech, they let you post whatever. But politicians are putting, the pressure on them to do or not do certain things. And then, you have to understand that we are dealing with national security as well. So we're in America, it's an American company, so you're dealing with, with that, and then they're dealing internationally, and they have to deal with that. I know that I would not be able to do that job. I know it. So it takes a lot of commitment and a different type of mentality to be able to do that kind of a job. So be grateful for Facebook team, and be grateful for your walls while you have them, and be grateful for this opportunity that God gives you to praise Him if that's your calling. So I've not felt like I was censored in any way, but there was something I couldn't post today, and it may have happened in the past, but all you can do is just lead to reference what you're doing. Just make a copy of the link if you're not able to post the link. So that's something you can do, or just physically type it up, and just reference it. So when there's a will, there's a way. With that being said, I watched one of the politicians really letting Facebook team have it. And I was just like, that's messed up, because I feel that the creators of Facebook, the creators, and the team, they have, and they had, the original intention was to bring us together and to do something good for humanity. And just like when Jesus walked the earth, He was spat on and crucified by the people. That's the way it is, pretty much. That's how we treat one another. We crucify one another. If you don't like what she said, we'll go to her house and listen to her private conversations. And you see what a hypocrite she is. Look at her. In her robe, with her hair all frizzy. How are we going to get anything educational or good out of this person? Why are we listening to this? Yet you're listening in my privacy. But when I come out and say it, people will say, "Oh, I don't understand what you're saying." I have been told that they don't understand what I am saying because I'm speaking in English. Whatever. Everybody speaks English, and everybody speaks Spanglish. And everybody in most countries speak English. So this is why God has chosen the English language for me to speak it. I was chosen, but I'm not the only one. You are chosen too. In your language, whether it's Chinese or Vietnamese or Arabic or Hebrew or Greek, whatever language, He has chosen you. You are an important part of the whole body, because without you, we're not whole. We may be whole as an individual, but that one in you is like there's a magnet that's drawing you to the whole body of Christ. So, we are the lion, we are the ox. That's Joseph, Judah and Josephraim. Joseph and Ephraim are both referred to in the Bible as a bull. Joseph is a majestic bull, and Ephraim as the wild thing that had to be turned. So, the lion and the ox, harmony between the two. Harmony between the two, also between Joshua and Jerusalem, because now that Satan's gone, not that he's gone, but he's just not chosen. Satan is there. He's always going to be there. But, I shouldn't say always, but for the time being, Satan's there, but Jerusalem is chosen, so don't worry. If Jerusalem has already been chosen, what power does Satan have? You see that? So, there will be harmony between the two, Joshua and Jerusalem. And there will be harmony between the two, Benjamin, who's the wolf, the humanity. Do you see how we treat one another? We're wolves. I'm excluding myself because I'm not a wolf. I may look like one, but I'm not. I really am not. I'm not like a go-getter. Maybe sometimes certain things I'm a go-getter, or at least I try, but not when it comes to money. I'm not a go-getter when it comes to money. So some people may say she's a loser. A loser because she's not like, self-sufficient, independent, wise woman that likes to get what she can get, and some of us are called losers. And so, whatever, I don't care. So the wolf will live with the lamb. There will be harmony between the two. And the lamb is the lamp. The lamp is the lamb. And all of these things are inside of us. Okay, so remember the mirror image. When we draw close to God, He draws close to us. When we are far from God, He's far from us. It's that mirror image, right? When we go to the Papa is always there 24/7. For thousands and thousands and millions of years, He's always been there since the beginning. Okay, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. And now, this time, the Spirit is fire. Okay, it's the Spirit of truth, the Spirit of the fire of truth. So he's pouring out, and we just have to recognize, okay, that this is who we are. We are children of God. So you either believe it or you don't believe it. But you are a child of God, whether you believe it or not. You are. So by believing in it, at least you'll be recognizing what you already are, which is a lot easier because you already are. Okay, and this truth will save you. If you come out and say it, this will save you. I'm not a public speaker, by the way. Okay, I know I'm not like a polished public speaker. I'm not a polished anything, okay? I'm not. I have lost my my sharpness through the years because I'm 47 now. And if you don't practice something, like if you're told, no, you can't work, no, you can't work here, no, you can't work here, no, you can't work here, before you know it, you're like, okay. So you start to, something happens to your brain, like you're just not as sharp. That's what's happened to me. So this is why I need y'all to help me, because I'm like a small part of the whole, and I'm just like, I've lost my sharpness. Like now I'm like probably a little bit of everything. When I start typing up a letter or typing up something simple, I have to look up every other word in the dictionary to make sure that I'm not doing it dyslexic or that I'm not, misspelling it in some way. But every other word, it used to be that I didn't have to look up the words very often. I had a very good, rich, grammar and vocabulary, but now it's like all everywhere. And my Spanish the same. And I used to, know my Spanish pretty good. I know my Spanish, but when it comes to writing it, I have to look up certain words, more often now. Do you see what happens with age? So this is why we need diversity in the workplace. We need the youth, which is sharp and energetic. And then we have the elders who are more experienced. But we need both. And back when I was in my 20s, and I was like, green is what she sees all day and night, y'all. Green is for rebirth and rebuild. They were like, okay, you're delusional. You're just right down crazy. Okay? So, I've been called doida, which means crazy, by people from Brazil. They're supposed to be Alexander's family. So, talking about immigration, I've always been pro treating people with dignity and respect. You will not find an email. You will not find an email that is a legitimate email from balancecookie@yahoo.com from Catherine Jones. You will not find a legitimate email that comes from me talking negatively about immigrants. So, you can't believe what people say just because they say it. Because sometimes there's an agenda. Like, hey, we cannot have this lady speaking. We cannot have her growing. We cannot have her developing. We need her growth like an arrested. I heard this term the other day by, I was listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers being interviewed, and the lead singer was saying arrested development. And it's true. It's like an arrested development. We, in our society, we crucify one another, and we we are like wolves, like sharks. Like, hey, why does she have that and I can't? That kind of thing. But you have to understand, if we in America set the example for all nations, then we wouldn't have this disorganization that we have here in this country. There's nothing wrong with immigration. Immigration has always been what this country's about. But you have to remember that we pushed the Native Americans to the side. I wasn't there, but whatever. We did that. And then we wanted to enforce our Christianity on the Native Americans. Because we were escaping so that we could have freedom to practice our religion. And what did we do? I wasn't there, but whatever. So the same thing happened in all throughout Latin America. So then the Europeans, I wasn't there, but remember, Latinos have native, black, white. Most of them are a mixture. Some people are pure white, some people are pure black, and some people are pure native. But the vast majority are mixed. And then you're going to have all the different colors, right, in the Hispanic community. So Hispanics really aren't a race. They are a mixture of things. But we are the human race, as in us, everybody. So it's very, very tricky. This is why I believe I was chosen, as you were, to speak these truths. I'm not here to be feeding you to one another. I'm just here to tell you that, hey, I'm not going to have somebody from Brazil come in here and tell me that I'm doida because I'm a homeless veteran. I was just pretty much kicked out of my own house on Dove Lane that I bought with my VA benefits, and I'm being denied for God knows why. Because people invade your home and they can take what you're saying and they can totally twist it, take it out of context, or just totally interpret, okay, for you. You know, people invade your home and they're watching everything you do and everything you are and everything you have and everything that you don't have. And there's a danger in that. The same thing with a nation, with a city. One day, Jerusalem, which is a blueprint for all cities in all nations, one day Jerusalem will be a city, a nation without walls. One day. But we have to go back to those lands that have been neglected and deserted. We've got to go back to those lands and rebuild. Otherwise, we're going to have an unstable environment and an unstable economies. We're going to have a lot of lack of balance, because we cannot possibly have everybody and their brother in America at once, because America already has its own dysfunctionalities, greatly due to the fact that a lot of people are coming over here seeking justice and freedom. But you have to understand that for everyone that we let in, something has to give. So we have to take from somebody to give. We have to take and give to be able to manage, right? And so
when somebody from Brazil who has, and I'm not picking on this country at all, but for somebody from Brazil who comes here to have a clean slate, clean their record because they were in debt, they were in poverty, they were escaping a corrupt judicial and all kinds of dysfunctionalities that they were escaping from. And they just wanted to clean up their record and wanted to come here and have a fresh start. And to see me, as a homeless veteran, and to call me crazy, oh no. Veterans, for your information, not just for foreigners, but for y'all's information, oftentimes you don't even know what they've been through. I worked with a nurse who told me, Susan, I've come to the conclusion that we're all guinea pigs. So it is up to us as a humanity to allow it or not allow it. Vietnam is a great example of that. The war was extended because they figured out this is how we can get free guinea pigs. And they were experimenting psychologically. This is inhumane. This is torture. And this is what we do to one another. We go and invade people's homes because we don't like what she said in 1999. In the privacy of her home, whether we're taking it out of context or not, I don't care. I don't like that bitch. We're going to go in there and let her have it. Put her out in the street. See where she's going to work. I remember telling my Jacob's father when we were together, I said, you know, I'm learning in my nutrition class. Actually, it was a biology class before I took nutrition class with Dr. Linlow Meyer, which, by the way, she's like the best professor I have ever had. At a community college level, she was like a professor level, you know, instructor, and I was getting a lot for my money. And we were blessed to have her. But anyway, she was teaching biology, microbiology, and all the sciences and nutrition. And I took her for biology and nutrition. And I was so glad that she was my teacher because she was very informative and well ahead of her time. And I learned that a lot of these pesticides that are no longer legal here in America are sold to Latin American countries for cheap. So the farmers from Latin America buy these pesticides for cheap so that they can grow their crops, which we turn around and buy from them, you know. And so this is why I'm all pro certified organic, because when you have a certified organic product, it's grown in a land that's transitioned. I believe it's like 7 years, and it has to be tested to make sure. But even transitional organic is better than none. So I'm not against, you know, like the farming industry. No, on the contrary. What I learned in this class is that according to statistics, because remember, statistics is also a very important aspect of what we learn on a daily basis, and how we present and how we're able to prove, you know, science. So statistically, these farmers were dying of cancer at a rate 6 times higher than American farmers. And it was directly related to the pesticides. So I was just like, well, that's not right, you know. And then there was another thing in the news during this time in my life. I was very young, in my early 20s. That it was in the news that, you know, most of the farmers were Latin American, and how, you know, somebody was doing a study, and if they sent the Latin Americans back to their country, to Mexico, because this was like a big win-win situation between Mexican farmers and American economy for a long time. And then people were complaining about the Mexicans coming over here over the border, but they were coming here legally just to work for the day, and then they go back at the end of the day. They have a special pass, you know, and they make good money because, and I was telling my ex-husband, I said, I don't think that the average American is going to be willing to leave their, you know, pen pushing job or pencil pushing job to go grow vegetables out there in the hot sun, you know. And so I thought to myself, people need to stop complaining and just be grateful. I may not have worded it that way, but I meant it. So I don't know what part of that you didn't understand, okay? I don't know who was translating or transcribing or whatever. But y'all need to get the record straight. If you're going to come in here to this country and call me doida, you may as well, okay? You may as well, okay? Help me, okay? What part of this did you not understand? Okay? Do you see USA right in the smack middle of Jerusalem? Okay? USA. It's in our midst. In the very heart of the city. The New Jerusalem. Israel is the people of God. Whether you're in Israel or Palestine, which is the same, Palestine is Palestine. And Israel went to Palestine. And there will be harmony between the two. None of this withholding water from people in their God-given land. You want rights? Don't take away somebody else's rights. The same thing in America. How is it that most Native Americans don't have a proper supply of water in their homes? They don't have proper plumbing? ¿Qué es eso? Embarrassing. How is it that in 2021 we have everybody and their brother in here and our native people without proper supply of water? ¿Qué es eso? I have my message from my 5 deaths of peace. Okay? You want to call me doida? Let us. Okay? I'm going to be real doida. Okay? So Albert Einstein came to me with this. M&M equals E. And President Eisenhower came to me with the same thing. M&M equals E. Military money equals Einstein. Military money equals Eisenhower. They both came before me and gave me this. Okay? So when you put it together, because we're going to simplify the difficult, okay? Because I'm not good at math, but I'm good at something. Okay? I'm good about organizing and simplifying. Okay? I don't like disorganization, even though I'm not good at math. So God has given me something. So we're going to simplify. M&M equals E. M&M equals E. So that's M&M equals EE. And we further simplify. M equals E. We further simplify. Me. Moses and Elijah, when we look in the mirror, let us go up to Jerusalem. up, up, up. Okay? Remember that the mountain comes down and the valley will be raised. So it's a mirror image, okay? Mountain is like this, like a triangle. But this symbol also means change, delta. And this symbol also means mountain. Or I said that. It means also fire, but it also means heat. Remember that the mountain and the fire and in the heart, they're related, okay? We're going up to Jerusalem. Pay attention. Okay, so let us go up. The mountain comes down, okay? And this is the mirror image, okay? We draw close to God. Far, close. He'll draw close to you. You're far from God, he's far from you, okay? So, that's the mirror image. The Star of David is when the two come together. Two become one, okay? Father and Son, heaven and earth. Heart and mind, we're going to be doing it right this time, okay? So, the mountain, okay, this is fire, but this is also male, okay? And it comes down, and this is the mirror image, okay? The mirror image, and this is the valley, but this also represents a womb, female water, okay? Remember, we are being born of God, okay? We're being born of God. We're coming out of our mother's womb, and the heart, being born of God's heart is like of his light. Being born of his light is like the womb, okay? So we were given more for our less. So the mountain comes down, the valley is raised, because it's that mirror image. And remember that this is when the scattering begins. At that moment, okay, when we are forgiven, we are given more for our less. Okay, between the 3 and the 4, which is the same thing, but it's from the inside. We're one ahead, crown from the inside. Okay, so at that moment that we are forgiven, we are given more for our less. We are going from 3, 4 into 5 into he, and he into us simultaneously. At that moment of our forgiveness, okay, when we look in the mirror, see, when we're on the table of truth and transparency, okay, this diamond is our blueprint. Remember, Jerusalem is chosen. Satan, the Lord rebuke you, Satan. Jerusalem is chosen, okay, at that moment. Okay, if we look at our diamond is it has the largest facet of the diamond is the table. The table is also known as the face. Okay, we were lifted up, 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 and we stood before the fire that does not burn. We were forgiven, and then he opened up his opening, which is brighter than the fire that is he. And this is where there's no gravity here weighing us down. We went into he, and the letter he, hey, is also the letter E. Okay, it's number 5. We went between the gamma and the dalet, which is the same. At that moment, we were forgiven, given more for our less. We went into he. That's when we began scattering, okay? Because we are like exchanging, and so we had half of it, and this other had half of it, okay? And then when we come together, because of God's forgiveness, and we forgiving each other, and we are receiving at that moment more for our less, and now we have more than we started with. Now we're scattering, and we're going to come back down, and we are going to continue scattering his word, and continue scattering and delivering and detoxing together. I'll explain to you, which I have already. It's already been done, okay? Because what we write today will be for them tomorrow, okay? And one day is today, because two become one. Okay, so Okay, when we look in the mirror of heaven, me equals we. And this was revealed to me by the Father. Okay, I know it's kind of, okay, let's do a prettier handwriting. Me equals we. Okay, so, and we is west and east, witnesses on earth when we look in the mirror of heaven. Moses and Elijah. Remember that Moses passed down the staff, okay, the responsibility, the leadership to whom? To Joshua. The one in us is greater because we're small parts of the whole. And that small part that's greater than us is like drawing us to the body as of, of the Son of Man, the Son of God, which, pay attention. Okay, so Moses passed down the baton to Joshua, to us. And Elijah passed down to Elisha. Okay, so, all right. So, when we're going up to Jerusalem, okay, this is delta also, okay, delta, but also the fire, the mountain, we're going up to Jerusalem, okay, and what looks like going up is also the mirror image, okay. It's also coming down because the mountain comes down. Remember, that's the mirror image. But when they come together, they become one. Okay? And so, that's what happens. So, transformation, okay? But the valley is also raised. So, now, it looks, this, that was the valley, is lifted up. What looks like going down is also going up, and what looks like going up is also coming down. The valley comes down. Okay? So, the tablet, the largest facet on our diamond is the table. The table is also known as the face. Okay? And facet, if you add a T at the end of face, facet, that's the largest facet. If you add a T at the end of table, because table and tablet are interchangeable words describing the heart. Okay? In Jeremiah 17, the sin of Judah is written with an iron pen and the point of a diamond. But then remember, our sins have been forgiven. We went into he. So from sin through shin, because the letter H, into he. Okay? So from sin through shin into truth, into he. And then the difference between the letter shin and the letter sin is actually the same letter in those ancient languages, and it's the letter H. We went into he, and H is also for the helping hand of God, but the hand is actually this letter right here, which is J, which is I, which is Y. And this means and in Spanish also. See, this is why the Papa chose me and he's chosen you. So if you want to call me Doida, you can call me Doida. But then you need to understand what my goal here is. Because if you're going to come in here, okay, you have to understand that a lot of our black Afro-Americans are being incarcerated for petty crimes to feed the privatized jail system. You have to understand that this has been happening for a long time. And black Afro-Americans are like, yo, I'm tired of it, okay? I'm sick of that. I got no choice but to sell dope, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to be going to prison for that? Shit. It's like, what else do you expect? What else? Do you want people to poop money? Is that what you want? If I must, you have to be realistic. Where is the money going to come from if we don't have it? If people make fake money, it's illegal. If people sell drugs, it's illegal. If people do drugs, it's illegal. And if people don't have a job, what do you want people to kill themselves? Then what is your hypocrisy about having all these programs about rehabbing people and about saving lives? What are we doing here? What are we doing as a humanity? I understand the black man. I understand it. I totally understand, and I'm not afraid to go. I've been out there at 10 o'clock at night, be me by myself with my purse, walking from point B to point A, and I'm not scared of any black man out there in the street. Ever have I been scared. Some of these white-collar crimes here in our faces are just in our faces, white-collar crimes and racketeering. And it's not just black and white anymore. It's everybody and their brother involved in racketeering. ¿Qué es eso? While the Native Americans don't have enough water, and then people over there in Palestine don't have enough water, and everybody is like, oh, help me. And then who's going to help me? Who's going to help me? I want to know what we're doing here in our midst. Midst. It's my Spanish, okay? I have an accent. I am excited because I have been meaning to tell you. My mom was telling me, that I can't, that I'm not a good mom. It's like, excuse me, mother. Nobody criticized my mom. Well, maybe I did. Maybe I did judge my mom, when I was young. But if everybody must know, I love my mom. I love her. But I don't appreciate people trying to take my kid away from me and behind my back plotting against me to take my son away from me. Because none of y'all care about Alexander the way I do. No. You don't. You didn't have to go through what I went through without me having any support from any of y'all while I was here in Mobile and in Alabama. None of you helped me. I had to be on food stamps and Medicaid, okay? So now I owe the state, yes, because I'm on welfare. See what happens? Because they wouldn't give me the right job at the right time, because I'm supposed to be crazy, okay? So Alexander's suffering the consequences of y'all plotting against me. I'm going to post these pictures. You can't really see it, okay? I'm going to post them so you can see his bruises all over the place. No. Okay? I am Alexander's mother, and none of y'all, no uncle, no grandma, no cousin, none of y'all care about Alexander the way I love Alexander. So if you love Alexander, then help me. When I needed, some assistance from some of y'all, you were like, oh no, I'm busy right now with my boyfriend, and I'm busy with my grandbaby, and I'm busy with my son and my family, and nobody wanted to help me just for a little bit for me to get situated. I've had to sell my car several times. I'm known for that, for selling my car, because I don't sell sex for a living, and I don't sell drugs either. Okay, but I understand the people selling drugs. I understand why, because what are they going to do if they don't have a job? Because some of these people are being framed for that. They're just waiting for the opportunity to put these people in jail, to feed their privatized jails. The same thing with DHR. What do you think? Alexander's not in jail? Alexander's in jail. It's kiddie jail, DHR. These kids don't have a voice. That is exactly what it is. Let us call it what it is. I know those caseworkers don't mean to put these little kids in jail, but that's exactly what it is. So if you truly care about Alexander, whether you're the grandma or the grandpa or the uncle or the aunt, you can call me crazy all you want, okay? Because when you came in here from your country, okay, nobody was looking up into your dirty past and rubbing it in your face. And you have been forgiven, but you've got to forgive me too. For something I said or I may not have said. Because I've never had a problem with immigration. But I believe in balance. I believe in taking care of our own first. We've got a lot of people who are out there in the streets. Cold. Okay? In park benches out there in the street. Literally. In the shopping plazas, on the floor, on the pavement. That is a shame. If we have a lot of money to go to Mars, then we have money to take care of our own first things first. Do you think going to Mars is a priority over taking care of our own, picking up our own Mira, do you think that Martians are more important than human beings? You can call it whatever you want to call it, okay? It's a shame that you think that going to another planet is more important than taking care of your own people. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying do it right. There's no need for us to be wasting so much money on war against one another, and then we have people fleeing their country because their country is neglecting them. They're fleeing, and most of the time they come to America. And we've got all kinds of organ harvesting and sexual trafficking and all kinds of kidnapping of the children and all kinds of disorganization with all this to and from. Madness. Because people are wanting help from somewhere else. Because their own is neglecting them. Let's put it this way. If there were Martians, okay, and here we are in this planet, and they came to our planet. Are you not going to join forces and get all y'all's weaponry and get ready to fight and defend your Earth together, united nations against the Martians who are coming to attack, to invade our home? I want to know what y'all are doing. What we are doing. So, you think it's okay for us to go to another planet? Neglect our own situations because it's not going to change anything with us going to another planet if the heart is not changed. If we don't have God's light guiding us, we ain't going to do it right. We are going to, it's just a matter of time before we mess up that planet. The same way. You think that the people here are just like, oh, they're too old, they're too weak, they're too young, they're too poor, that's the outcast. These are not the people that we want in the future. We want the young and the beautiful, and everybody who's ugly and disabled and old and too poor and too young and you don't have family, you're pretty much, oh no. Because I'm here to tell you that I'm not here to be walking around in a G-string, and I ain't gonna get a job either that way. I am not here to be modeling my butt for you. I am here to sit on my fundamental butt and highlight it for for you. If I must, I will. How do you expect people to make money when we're not giving them a job? We're prioritizing everything else but what is important. How would you like to be out there one night out there in the park or in the street with nothing but a blanket? Without being able to bathe and brush your teeth, bathe properly. You may be able to sponge bathe and brush your teeth, maybe, but at this rate, people are so cold or so hot or so weak, and the elderly and the disabled. And if you weren't disabled before you became homeless, it's just a matter of time before you become not right, okay? You try it for a day and see if you can do that. Have a heart! If we have money to go to Mars, we have money to take care of our own people right here. And you want to know what my race is? I'll tell you that I'm black and white and everything in between. My hair does whatever it wants, whenever it wants. And my Father gives me the face that He gives me and the voice that He gives me and the body that He gives me when I need it. I am Alexander's mother, and I'm speaking to y'all. We're not going to have any organ harvesting, and my son is not going to be in any of y'all's list for y'all's agenda for this buying and selling among you. And I'm speaking to even members of my own family. If you are Alexander's family and you truly love my child, then you will understand that that child wants to live with me. With me. Because I care about Alexander the way that you don't care about Alexander. You may love Alexander. If you truly love Alexander, then prove it. Prove it to him. And not neglect him and leave him in that kitty jail. For 3 years already I've been talking to the wall. And you're bragging about your friends and family. And Alexander is what? For y'all to negotiate among you? Well, he's not a prisoner of war. And he's not a slave. And buying and selling people is human trafficking. If you want my brain, you can have it. I will let you have it while I am living. I will let you know what's on my mind. I don't need anybody interpreting for me. I speak loud and clear and in plain language. I have spoken. Thank you.